Hi, everyone. I was reminded this week of a story in Genesis 32 about Jacob. Jacob wrestles with a man throughout the night, and his hip gets hurt and he becomes limp. But ultimately, at the heart of this story of this wrestling through the night, Jacob is blessed and he's given a new name. He's no longer Jacob, but he is Israel, which is an important part in the story. And names are important, especially in the Old Testament. But thinking about this wrestling with God, I was reminded of that story because in the Bible 101 class, which will wrap up this coming week, we have been wrestling with Scripture. And I think wrestling with God through wrestling with Scripture. This last week, we were examining what authority the Bible has. And we talked about what does it mean for the Bible to be true. Does everything have to be factual for the Bible to be true? We talked about the Bible being an inerrant, that is without error, versus the Bible being inspired by God, but written by human hands and therefore has cultural perspectives and human influence within it. And we've been wrestling with some really challenging passages in the Bible. And so I was reminded of Jacob's story of wrestling with God. And my charge to you is to also wrestle with God, to wrestle with challenging parts, stories in the Bible, texts in the Bible, to wrestle with the places in your life and your faith that maybe don't seem to line up, that maybe you doubt, or maybe you second guess, or maybe you compartmentalize and say, oh, I don't want to think about that because if I do, my faith might crumble. But I want you to bring those things to the forefront of your mind, to wrestle with them, to pray about them. Maybe it's helpful for you to bring somebody else who is Christian and you value their perspective and their faith, maybe bringing them into the conversation to help guide you and pray with you about it. But ultimately, I think as scary as that can be, to wrestle with God, to wrestle with Scripture, to wrestle with your faith, which might include some doubting, which is okay. I ultimately believe, as was the case with Jacob, that you and I will be blessed through that wrestling, and that your faith will be strengthened through it. So that is my charge to you today, to wrestle with God as Jacob wrestled through the night, that God may bless you and that your faith may grow stronger and that you may follow God as we continue to follow Jesus to the cross through this Lenten season. Peace be with you.